Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Why the new security features on American Eagle Bullion coins are a disaster. Let's explore! As of the recording of this video, we've heard no details about the new security features that are offered on the American Eagle Bullion program. We've seen them, we have them in our hands now, and so far, the only description that the United States Mint gives is an edge variation, which accounts to simply a missing read on both coins. And when I say both coins, I mean just that. Only the 1 ounce silver American Eagle and the 1 ounce gold American Eagle. The first reason why the new security features are a failure is they did not use the security mark on the lower fractional gold coins. In other words, the half ounce, the quarter ounce, and the 10th ounce gold coins do not have the security feature. The Silver Eagle has no fractional bullion coins, so you can only be on one coin, and that is the Silver Eagle. Now, the other reason why they are a failure is that this is all there is. It's a missing part of the coin on the edge that is not so easy to detect unless you turn it and look at that part. But your eye is automatically drawn to the design on the obverse and the reverse of the coin. And there are no security features on the obverse or reverse of the coin, at least that we know of. In fact, we know so little about the security feature with the edge, with the missing read, that people have begun to speculate as to what it could be. Now, I'm looking at this really closely, and I don't see anything micro-etched inside there. And at this magnification, if you can't see anything or even a hint of it, then what good is it? And that's just it. That is where the rubber meets the road, is that if you can't see that there's a security device other than just a missing read, it makes you question what was the purpose of this to begin with. Well, to partially answer that question, we will go back as to what David J. Ryder, the U.S. Mint director, who, when he first left the Mint in the early 90s, he worked for a security for anti-counterfeiting in technology. He was in that world, which means that he should know what he's doing in this regard. And maybe that's just it. Maybe he knows too much of what he's doing, in so much that there are, as mentioned from David J. Ryder from prior interviews, long before these were released, that there were going to be 3 different levels of security for the American Silver and Gold Eagle Bullion program. The first level is overt. In other words, a very recognized and distinctive security feature that can be seen with the naked eye. Well, we're looking at it, folks. A missing read. This is what is the overt security feature. It's a missing read. The second security level is one of 2 covert security features. In other words, there apparently will be a certain amount of authorized dealers in the commercial space that will be able to tell with either an app or some other way if a gold or silver eagle is genuine or not. They will have some technology or some device, much like we've seen with the Bullion DNA from the Royal Canadian Mint, perhaps, or at least we're only speculating at this point, that will be able to detect whether or not the coin is genuine. Perhaps there's some dye variation that will be able to give some sort of example as to set it apart from other coins, whether they are genuine or not. Now, because maybe there's some marking that we're not recognizing. Perhaps it is something on the surface of the coin. Maybe it is a feather that may be turned a slightly different way. or some sort of micro etching that we can't see with the naked eye, or at least that is recognizable. Now, I did a video not too long ago about speculation as to what potentially could be either a marriage between the overt and covert security feature. And it's not on this Silver Eagle here, but on a prior grouping of them, there was another partial missing read that was recognizable and seen, and others in the community also have seen that on their coins as well. We don't know what the answer to that is. The Mint is not disclosing any information as to what that could be or could not be, but nonetheless, we can only speculate now that it is an error, and perhaps maybe we're starting to carve it out, but it was in the wrong space. Now, because the Mint says it's an edge variation, perhaps these missing reads are supposed to be at different parts, different sections of the coin. In other words, maybe at the 9 o'clock position, at the 6 o'clock position. So far, I've not seen anybody else report a different positioning of the missing read. But that covert, that first level of commercial covert security feature detection is still foreign to us. We don't know what it is. The final and most covert security feature will be that which is only recognized by government officials. Potentially the Secret Service will be able to have some way to be able to tell whether or not they are genuine or not. And that is fine. There's nothing wrong. I think it's brilliant. When I first read that interview with David J. Ryder, where he mentioned that there was going to be 3 levels of security, I thought this is wonderful news. Think of it as two-factor authentication when you're logging in to a website. Well, it wouldn't be nice to have the confidence that we have our coins and they can pass through 3 levels of security to be determined whether they are genuine or not. But the problem with that is with the overt security feature, and everything collapses and becomes an unmitigated disaster because of the overt security feature, the missing read, which could very easily be counterfeited on the secondary market or by foreign actors or nefarious individuals. You can just take a file and file away one of those if you so desired after making the fake silver or gold eagle. And in fact, you can file it away and take that whatever gold or whatever, if it is gold plate or whatever, and save it, or the silver. But nonetheless, it is a failure because it's unless you look closely, you're not going to see it, and there's nothing that tells you whether or not it's what is that comprised of, or what makes that so unique or so different than a missing read. So what could have been or what should have been done with this missing read that can be easily faked? Well, they could have taken some lessons from already available and existing bullion products that were made available from the Royal Mint as an example of a very well protected coin overtly. I mean, these things are security features that are recognizable from the get-go, and you can still have those extra levels of security to further enhance, but you almost don't need them, because if you think about it, things like lenticular devices, such as a shifting image when you turn the coin a certain way, I think that is a very difficult and almost impossible. I won't say it's completely impossible, but it is very difficult to recreate that type of thing. Shifting images, moving, micro etching that you see here. There's 3 different essentially devices and ways of security features on these coins for both the gold and silver, and in all sizes. All sizes, the Royal Mint have these security features, and they're very well done, very meticulous, heavily detailed, and they still show and represent the figures in a very, well, I'll say patriotic way with the figure Britannia. The only problem is with the security feature, the privy with the lock and the trident that we see here on the Britannia. that becomes a bit more cumbersome to really show, and it takes away from the figure the further you zoom in, or the smaller that the size gets. And in fact, it takes away from a crown. That very well could have been put up above, I believe, above in this blank space somewhere else on the coin. I think that's what they should have done, but that's a minor detail. The fact is that other mints have been doing this stuff, and even private mints, such as one of the U.S. Mint's private suppliers of blanks, Sunshine Minting, has their own security devices that you can use a special card to see, and it is enough of a type of an image that could be placed on the coins that you necessarily wouldn't need to have a card to really read it to know whether or not it's secure or not. But here's the problem: is these coins provide this level of very ineffective security features, meaning missing read. No one's going to bother to check to see if they're genuine or not, because it's how are they going to even know or even tell? Because if they're faked and somebody doesn't really see the detail in the coins, they could go undetected for so long. Whereas if you had a very overt security feature, and I'll give you an example here with the Silver Eagle of what they could have done with this design in the fields. They could have done either radial lines like what the Royal Canadian Mint does. They could have done that wavy type pattern, or they could have put some sort of privy mark with an eagle or with a seal of the United States or whatever, or $1 or a dollar sign or what have you. They could have done so much there. And yes, it would have been a copy of what other nations do, but this feature here, the missing read, though we're the only nation doing it, is an abject failure. Just because it's unique does not mean it's good. And the United States Mint is so far behind in every area of coin design, of beauty, of quality. We are sorely lacking as a nation in our coin quality assurance. And in fact, I had to buy this Silver Eagle and I cherry picked it from others because most of them were off center. They had milk spots. You saw the first 6 I got had milk spots, horrible quality, and as such, you would have thought they would have improved in that area. But there's so many things that could be done better with this security feature. So it's kind of a shame that is where we are at, and why this has become an abject failure from the United States Mint with these security features. Let me know what your thoughts are as we examine these, as more information comes out, if or when it comes out. Why the Mint has been silent on this, I'll never know. But so far, it has been a failure. And I think that really no matter what the Mint says about these security features, the very fact that they're on the edge and that it's just a missing read, even if there's some sort of insane micro printing and etching we can't see it, the fact that it doesn't matter. If it's too small that we can't recognize that there's something there, then it defeats the whole purpose, and it can be faked very easily. And if it's a foreign actor or whatever agent that's going to be brave enough to fake a gold or silver eagle, they're not going to care about the covert security features that a dealer may have or what have you, because these things could have very well passed through several different layers in the commerce, and by that time it's too late. By the time the covert security measures are taken into account, because how often are these things going to be checked? They're going to look for the missing read. Once they see the missing read, it's all good. They're not going to pull out an electron microscope to look for some very cryptic writing in there, or some sort of micro etching that's I think is non-existent. And by the way, there's also been speculation that there may be chips inside of these. By now, we would have found out about that. I knew that wasn't going to be a thing. No, there's no microchips inside of these, but nonetheless, there you have it. Very interesting indeed. The gold and silver American Eagles, they're out. They're being circulated, they're being bought, and the security features are an abject failure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. We'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.